Okay, this is a guide to finding and winning college scholarships. I probably filled out about 400 or 500 of them, and I will talk about my success rate later. But I graduated from the University of Minnesota Twin Cities with zero debt, and I also got a graduate certificate, also with no debt on there. So we just jump right into it. Why scholarships matter more than ever. College has been more expensive than ever, and income isn't really keeping up with all of our other expenses. So we could debate how that's good, how that's bad. Let's just get into how we're going to fix it, because us talking about it right now is going to fix anything. So your opportunity here is going to be getting free money. You're never going to have to pay off, and it's just free money that you're given. Luckily, businesses or people who want to give back to their communities, they give this money to people who they see potential in or see themselves in, and it's a great way to get um, ahead in life, I guess, and could potentially take years off of paying back student loans. And also, there are thousands of these local, which the bigger you get, the harder it's going to do it. So, if you have your university ones, if you have local city ones, and you have state ones, and you have national ones, the larger you get, the harder it is to actually win. So, this is why we're going to take a strategic approach, and I'll tell you what I did. One, start with FAFSA. Now, this is going to help people who have a little bit, I don't know, taken apart family. If you're uh, a parent, you have a kid, if you're a single parent, if your family's divorced, if you're both your parents or one of your parents have lower income, you can see here the federal Pell Grant is $7,400 this year, if I'm not mistaken, and most recipients have household incomes under $60,000. So I got the federal Pell Grant, and it took care of a lot of my expenses, especially going to the university here, which is like $7,000 a semester if you're taking 12 or 13 credits if you're full time. I also had another buddy here who had two parents who were both together, high income earners, and he didn't get anything. So this is really going to depend on your household situation. No matter what there is, though, there's federal and there's work study, so you can get um, one, you can get paid, help pay off your college, and then also you can build work experience, which a lot of the employers after college are looking for. If you're going to do any kind of loans, you want federal loans as much as you can, not really private loans. And I would recommend only using federal loans or any other loans to cover tuition specifically. I'm not going to talk about if what college you should do based on what your major is in your job, but I would recommend all your living expenses and stuff that you work and pay for. And if you're going to take any debt at all, which hopefully you don't, it'll be on a federal student loan. I had other friends here. They were getting, like I was talking about, the University of Minnesota was like 7 grand a semester. At least it was when I was going through, and they were getting $14,000 a semester. And I asked them why, and they said, "Well, it's for all my living expenses. It's for my apartment and stuff." That might be nice for now, so you can focus on school, but you're gonna be paying that for years and years later. Just be much better to live really cheap and just pay yourself through school. Take on federal student loans if you have to, and then also check your interest rate too, because some of them don't start until after you graduate from college. I asked one of my friends here, I was helping him do some financial planning about a week or two ago, and they didn't know what their interest rate was or when interest starts occurring. So when you're doing this, be very conscious and know exactly what this is, because if you don't, you're going to pay for it later on. State and school aid. We'll talk about some more stuff here. Okay, my New Year's college hit it. Okay, I used Gamma 2 for this, so sorry, I don't have much time. I'm just trying to put this stuff together, one, to refine my ideas, and then also just to help people out. So your best odds are going to be local. You have local, state, or city, and national. The larger you get, the harder it is going to win. So every college has dozens of scholarships. Now, some of them might be easy based on your major. Some of them might be essays. I would fill out every single one that you have on your campus that you're eligible for. I might have even applied for some that I wasn't completely eligible for, but there was a chance. So it'd be much better. So some of the things that you can do, there's the new student merit scholarship, department specific, nursing, business, and stuff like that. You can read a couple of the other lists. But pro tip, so I used to talk to my academic advisor before doing all the scholarship stuff. So get a point of contact in there and then ask them what you're all eligible for. And if they can't tell you anything, ask somebody else. And if they do tell you everything, still ask somebody else, because this is the free money that you get from your college, and you don't want to leave any stone unturned. All right, next you're going to go to a lot of your platforms. So these are the ones that I was using: bold.org, Niche, Scholarship Owl. I don't really know what this other one is. Gamma probably added that one, but those three are the ones that you need for a base. And then those ones are going to send you to other websites and scholarship websites that you want to. So I think on Bold and Scholarship Owl, I might have done a couple hundred on Scholarship Owl alone. And then Bold, I also did a couple hundred as well. Just so you know, when you're doing all this, a lot of them are like one click, you apply. So you have a profile, you apply, but you have to subscribe to something. And it's kind of one of their like marketing techniques, and they give out a giveaway. I did like all of those, and some of them you're going to write essays for. You're going to get a whole bunch of emails from everybody that you apply for. So if you don't want to put up with that, don't do it, but I would highly suggest doing it based off the off chance that you can do it. And then just put up with the emails, because they're literally going to give you money just for sending you emails, or there's a potential, I guess. So 3 to 5, let's see, overwhelming. So yeah, I would stick to these three if I'm going to do anything. High value, local market. So where most students miss out, local scholarships, we talked about that. Community organizations. So if you're like part of a nonprofit, or I think Starbucks pays some tuition, or Walmart does as well. Some like frats, or I think I was part of like a some kind of business club or something. They had one as well. Obviously, I don't really know much about them because I just joined them for the scholarship, but I didn't even get that one. So there's different things that you can try. Just think about if you're applying for like whatever. Let's say you do 500 scholarships, and each one of them averages 500 or 1,000. Take how much time it would take for you to actually do it. So say you could get $5,000 in scholarships, and it takes you 100 hours to do. You're getting paid $50 an hour in order to do that. And you're working on your essays, you're refining, like all your language and your, not philosophy, but you're refining all of your ideas, kind of like what I'm doing right now. You're going to reiterate this over and over again. You're going to kind of refine, and then think about the things that you're writing about. So I kind of went off a little tangent there, but here's a whole bunch of different things that you can look into besides your campus to try to find more scholarships. People do want to help other people out. Okay, now you got to try to build a system. So 1, do your FAFSA and college first scholarships. Next one, create accounts, Bold, Niche. I don't know about the other two, Scholarship Owl. Do that. I actually created two accounts on Bold, and one that I think Bold is the best one. Now they're doing some stuff with a credit card and everything. I don't know how that works, or a debit card, but you can get points, which helps boost your profile. You can nominate each other, which is why I did 2 accounts. I just nominated myself in each one, and I submitted 2 applications basically for these. I don't know if that helped me. I don't know if that hurt me, but I was working a lot in school, and I didn't know anybody at the university or anybody else really going through college. So I just did all this stuff really by myself, so I didn't have any buddies to nominate. But if you're in a frat, or if you have a bunch of buddies around the university, you guys are going to go much better and get a much better track record. At least I would hypothesize, by nominating each other and helping each other throughout this process. While you're doing these, you're going to see like a common theme, something that you did that was hard. What's the leadership quality? What do you want to do with this degree? Stuff like that. So I would have these base ones that I would do, and then I would just tweak it. Now there's AI, so it's even easier to do that. Now, obviously, proofread it and double check it all, but I would do like whatever. I'd have one base one for something hard I went through, another one for something I would like to do long term, and then I would change the header to the organization that I was applying to, and then tailor it to, if this one asks like, tell me one example in your life that was hard versus tell me of a difficult time, I would change it to be one thing I did challenging in my life, and then the other one I would say something like a time I experienced this. I know it's very subtle, but I feel like those little things kind of matter. Or maybe they don't. You just want to play the numbers game. Then I would set a weekly goal. 10 to 20 applications per week is very realistic. I mean, I would do probably 10 to 20 a day. depending what it was. They have filter options, especially on Bold and on Scholarship Owl, that make it really easy to find similar scholarships that you can go on and just keep hammering those ones out. Recycle essays and adjusting introductions and conclusions, which I was just talking about, and then track your deadlines. You don't have to do it in a spreadsheet. I did it in my planner, but I would track it somehow, just so you know, like, this is one I have a good chance at winning. Put that in your planner and then do it. Commit 2 to 4 hours weekly for consistent applications. I would probably do an hour or two a day. I luckily, when I was working, I had some side jobs that gave me a couple hours of free time at work. Or if you're like in school and you're doing this, and you're doing like work study, you have a whole bunch of time. So if you get all your all of your homework done, you can just apply for scholarships. And it's not only for people who aren't in college yet. You can still get scholarships throughout college. There's even some that are just for graduate students or get certain timelines. So I would start way in the beginning. I think I didn't start this until my second or third year. So I would do this as much as possible right away and keep consistent throughout. If you don't do good the first year or 2 years, then you can say screw it. But I would at least give it a shot. Okay, these are some of the most common topics that I had. Overcoming hardship, your major career, what's your long-term vision, 5 to 10 years, leadership experience, personal growth. A lot of it was also volunteer and community impact as well. Then there's going to be some random ones like what's a hobby you have, what's a fictional character, or write me a poem about this. I even had one talking about Disney princesses, which I was surprised that I didn't win because I put a lot of effort in that. I like Disney a lot. Okay, the winning essay formula. Now here comes my track record. I got FAFSA. I got one from work. Or maybe two from work. I got a couple from my university. I didn't get any on any of the websites I just talked about. I was a finalist for a couple. If you can't tell from my videos and stuff, maybe I'm not very good at talking. Maybe I'm not very good at writing. I also didn't try to fit anybody else's narrative. When I wrote, I actually believed in. I don't know if that helps or hurts, but I didn't win any of them. I mean, I put 3 to 4 to 5 to whatever 100 in. Now let's say like 100 of those were one click, but the majority of those were all essays that I tailored. That's how I was playing the numbers game a little bit. I didn't do it completely, but I did try to change them. I don't know what the right approach is, obviously. Maybe you have a more compelling and interesting story, or maybe you're a better writer than me, and you can do this. So there's stories out there of people getting $30,000-$40,000 of scholarships. I would at least give it a shot. But what I would start with is a hook. Then you do your story, and then you expand it out later because they want to know what you're going to do in the future. And here's some of the things that reviewers want to know. What challenges shaped you? Try to make it very personal and about yourself. They want to know who they're actually going to be giving the money towards. What motivates you, kind of like purpose, and then what's the meaning. Basically, showing that you have a bunch of drive for this and passion about it, so you're more likely to complete it. How you've contributed to your community, why you need financial support is a great question, not just I want free money. How are you going to help others, or how is this going to help you actually succeed with your goals? What makes you unique? Actually, I don't know if they like uniquity or not. I'm pretty sure that they do. And then how you use the scholarship money. They always ask that. You don't have to be perfect or extraordinary. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But yeah, that's at least what I would recommend. So take action today. Start away. Start smart. The things that you have the most chance of succeeding at, FAFSA, local scholarships, and then go from there. Instead of watching TV or Netflix shows and stuff, just give this a shot. At the very minimum, like for the ones that I was applying for, I at least got to refine my ideas and refine my goals. So it was at least a good practice for me to refine skills and then take time out of my day to actually think about what I want to do with my life. Even though I didn't win anything, I still got some of the experience. You can use ChatGPT tools. Is going to be much better to write it. I just wouldn't tell them to write just some random stuff. actually make it about yourself. Double check it all. Just help it with grammar, structure, and maybe to make it more interesting, have it ask you questions, see how you can improve it. Very, very much so for the baseline ones. And stay consistent. I know went out of order there, but here we go. Let's see. I do not know who these people are. So Gamma must have put that one in there. And finally, be like a dude trying to hit on girls. Don't be discouraged by rejections. Keep on going. You got this. That is all. Good luck with your scholarship journey, and have a great day. Peace.